Hey everyone, back for a video here, and today we are going to talk about the main character of Duet Night Abyss, which is the Foxhunter. I'm gonna be honest, this character is probably one of the best support characters in the entire game, and a lot of people don't know why. So today we are going to talk about this character, show you how he works, and how to build him. So without further ado, let's get right to the video. So the Foxhunter is actually a really strong character if you know how to use him. Now on a side note, for the Warframe players, you probably don't know how happy I am because, well, in most of the gacha games that we had, main characters just aren't that good, but it seems that it's different for this game, which I'm really excited about. Now, what does the Foxhunter do? Well, as I said previously, he's a really good support. In his skills, we're gonna start from his normal skill, or basically his damage. His skill shoots out two swords that fly straight and will basically continue to go forward. If you have more skill range, the width of the slash is going to be bigger, which means it's going to hit more enemies. And it is guaranteed to trigger the Lumina bonus effect. I have no idea what this is. I hope someone tells me, but that's not the main part that we're talking about, alright? Now, just so you know, this skill does a lot of damage. Like, look at this. 1000% at level 6, and you can level it up by a lot. But we are just getting to the good parts. The Foxhunter ultimate will just damage enemies around him, and, well, that's it, basically. But there are a couple of things that you don't know. First, it's going to give shields to everyone in your team. Now, this is an ultra shield, which means it's going to stack on your normal shield. So a shield for your shield, I guess. It's weird, but it's really good for endgame content, especially against bosses who deal a lot of damage. And more importantly, he is also going to increase the weapon damage for everyone in the team. And you might be wondering, what is weapon damage? Well, if a character deals damage with their weapon, that's considered weapon damage. For example, for Berenica, her skill is going to be considered weapon damage. Her ultimate is going to be considered weapon damage because she's using her sword. And it doesn't matter if she's using the consensus weapon, if I'm saying that right, or even a ranged weapon, it's still considered a weapon, so she can use it. Now, there are some characters that cannot use this or just don't have it in their kit. Like, for example, Fantasio, in his ultimate, turns into a thing, which even though it looks sick, as you can see, it says that weapon cannot be used during this state. So basically, this is not going to be considered weapon damage, and the main character cannot buff him. So as long as your character is using a weapon, he's going to give them extra damage, and it's actually a decent amount. As you can see, at level 4, it's 27%, and it's gonna increase even more. You can increase the timing for this with skill duration, and the damage is still pretty nice. And then finally, his passive will make it so whenever a Lumina bonus effect is triggered, deals additional Lumina AoE damage at the target location. Basically, it's a buff for Lumina characters, and I think it dot damage. Again, I don't know what the bonus effects are. And finally, there are two more passives. If you don't know already, for each character, there are two more passives, which are really important. The first passive will make it so whenever you use your ultimate, is going to increase the trigger probability for all of your characters, which is pretty nice, again, for those bonus effects. And for the second passive, which only activates if you use the character as a support, it's going to increase the weapon damage for everyone in the team, which is insane. So by now, you can see that this character is insane. But wait, there's more. I know. You can get the extra copies for the Foxhunter just by doing this story, and these copies are going to even make him stronger. The first one is going to make his skill deal 70% more damage while you're in your ultimate state, which is a lot already. The second one will also make it when you use your ultimate, you're gonna create an area where every enemy inside that area is going to have their movement speed reduced by 50%, which is really good. And lastly, the third one, which is the last copy that you can get right now in the story, is just gonna give him more damage to his talents. Now, if you're interested in the other ones, the fourth one will increase his attack speed when you use his skill. The fifth one will just increase his level again. And finally, the last one will also give 54 crit chance to everyone in your team, which again is a lot. So by now you probably see that this character is insane, but we have to also show this character as well, because, well, if I just yap here and tell you how good the character is, you're not gonna believe me. So let's get to the end game. Now, with the Foxhunter, you want to use him as a support character, all right? But to show how he works, I'm just gonna use him as a main character for you guys to see how it works. Let's get into it. All right, here we are. Now, if you're using him as a main DPS, use your ultimate first, obviously, and then just spam your skills, all right? This skill just deals a ton of damage, as you're seeing right now. Although these enemies are a bit weak, but still, it just deals a lot of damage. And it has infinite range, as you can see, like, it goes to the end. So try to line up the enemies and just slash them, basically. Like, for example, here, I'm gonna use my ultimate, come back, and I use my skill. Now, a tip that you might be interested in, there is a delay between the first and the second slash, and you can actually change the direction for the second slash. Let's go to the next trial for me to show you guys. As you can see, like, I can actually change the direction for my slashes just like that. Is it useful? Sometimes, not a lot, but it's a good thing to know if you want to cover more area. Now, let's just clear this, guys. And just like that, we cleared the third area. Hello, guys. Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect to show you guys. Come on. And they're just dead. Again, because these guys are really under-leveled, I'm just killing them really fast. Probably you can't deal this much damage in the higher levels, but still, it's just a lot of damage, let's be honest. Alright, let's go to the boss fight, I guess. Now, this character is insane for boss killing. And one thing that you need to know is that you should probably stay a bit away from the enemies, especially if the enemies are big. And let me tell you why. With his skill, if you damage the enemy, since it has a range, basically, if you stay away from the enemy, sometimes the skill just damages the enemies multiple times. Now, this enemy is a bit small, so I can't really showcase it, unfortunately. But basically, if the enemies are big, and by staying far away from them, you can just do this and you'll damage them multiple times. Now let's just try to kill her right away. And for big enemies, this character just destroys them, alright? So again, let's use our ultimate. And I'm out of sanity, unfortunately. Now, never mind, I got one. Okay, we're in our second stage. What are these enemies doing? I didn't know normal enemies could spawn here, to be honest. Yeah, but they're not doing that much, to be honest. Okay. What the hell are you doing? Get out. Okay. We're safe. Come on, use your skills. Let's get back. Come on, and yeah, just like that, she's just dead. Damn. So yeah, as you can see, this character is insane again. So lastly, let's talk about his build. Now, as I said, you want to use him as a support character mostly, since he just buffs a lot. For his skills, go for his ultimate first, because the extra damage bonus that you get from his ultimate is going to increase depending on his level. And also the extra shield helps as well. And then after that, you can go for his skill to deal a lot more damage. And for the passive, it just deals more damage. Again, I don't know what this is. I hope someone explains it to me in the comments, alright? What is the Lumina bonus effects or like the other bonus effects? But anyway, and don't forget, if you're going to use them as a support, get this passive as well to increase the weapon damage even more, which is 8% basically, which is insane. For his copies, you're gonna get it from the story, and that's, I think, the only way that you can get it. For his melee weapon, now this is probably going to be the weapon that you're going to use on him as a support character because of two reasons. First, he just deals a lot of damage, and melee weapons generally do more damage compared to ranged weapons. And as for the weapons, the best sword is going to be this one, which it gives them extra range. And also when you crit, you're going to restore sanity, which is insane. But if you don't want the extra sanity, or you want that weapon to be used on another character, like for example Bernica, you can use this weapon as well, which increases attack speed, which is decent, alright? But the best free-to-play weapon right now, or when I say free-to-play, like the best available option, is this one, which increases his attack by 60%, which is a lot, and you get this weapon from the start, which is really great, and it works perfectly on him. For his range weapon, if you want to use him as a support character, I guess, you have to use a rifle and just try to go for something that deals a lot of damage, alright? There are a couple of options that you can go for. Probably this one is the best one, since it just increases the crit damage by a lot, and it gives a ton of stuff, but most of the range weapons are good on him as long as they increase his damage, alright? And for the Genimons, well, if you're using him as a main DPS, then go for something that increases Lumina damage, or go for something that increases weapon damage, which I don't know if there's a lot of them. I haven't seen every Genie mod, but that's basically it. Now, if you're using him as a support, then you have to see what your main character damage is and pick up Genie mod for that character, alright? Just so you know. Now, for the demon wedges, I'm not going to talk about them that much. I don't know every demon wedges, and we still don't know what the meta is going to be for the game, alright? So, even if I say something, it's probably gonna be pointless after a while. Science said just go for anything that is going to increase his damage, alright? Skill damage and Lumina attack are going to be his best things. Duration is also good since you can use your ultimate less and have the buff for longer, which means you can have more sanity. But the range is not that important, I'm gonna be honest. And for the teams, well, you can use him as a support for any character that deals weapon damage. The best one being right now, Berenica, since she deals a lot of damage and it's going to be considered weapon damage, both in her ultimate and also the skill, as you can see. And I think they're just perfect for each other, I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, that was the showcase of Foxhunter in in Duet Night Abyss. Also, I really like this eye patch because it seems like my character is just a corpse. And he's not seeing anything, he's just a zombie. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video till now. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back for another video. Bye bye.